Good morning, children. So today I'll continue with what we were doing yesterday. Yesterday we ended at the splicing process, and I was telling you about splicing, that in eukaryotic cells, the RNA formed as a result of transcription is not a processed RNA. It is an unprocessed RNA, which is also known as hnRNA or heterogeneous RNA. This is in case of eukaryotic cells. This RNA is like this, where there is interference of introns. Like this, what we have. So we have exons, we have introns, then we have again exons, then we have introns, and again exons and introns. This is hnRNA, which is heterogeneous RNA, unprocessed RNA. This cannot be used for translation, cannot be used for the process of translation. Before translation, this needs to be processed. Out of these exons are coding sequences, whereas these introns are non-coding sequences. So we have exons as well as introns. The exons are the coding sequences. That means, what is a code? Genetic code. Genetic code is a code of triplets. It is also known as triplet codon. Yesterday I gave you one example. UUU. Today I'm giving you another example, like this is AUG. AUG is a triplet codon or genetic codon. Triplet codon or genetic codon. This AUG is a triplet codon which codes for the amino acid methionine. So it codes for amino acid methionine. This is the amino acid for which this codes for. Now, same way, what are these triplet codons? Exons have that means this is able to code for one amino acid. So this is a coding sequence. And what are coding sequences? Exons have these coding sequences, exons. Now, what is a processed RNA? Processed RNA is the one from which the non-coding sequences are removed. Only coding sequences are left. This is right now, this has both coding sequence, non-coding sequence, coding sequence, non-coding, coding, non-coding. So this is an unprocessed RNA, also known as hnRNA. This is not ready for translation. To make it ready for translation, it has to be converted into messenger RNA. It has to be converted into messenger RNA, from hnRNA, messenger RNA. And how this will happen, beta? This is going to happen when introns are removed. How these introns will be removed? These introns will be removed by using nucleases. NuCleases. Nucleases, these are enzymes. What do? They cut the introns. So like here the cuts are made like this. The cuts are made by nucleases, the cuts are made. And finally what happens when these cuts are made? These cuts are made by nucleases. The introns are removed then. Introns are removed. And What we are left with now? We are left with these segments, the black ones, which are exons. We are left with all exons. Now these exons are joined. These are joined by using another enzyme. The name of that enzyme is ligase. So ligase joins them, and ultimately all these are joined. All these are joined like this, and what do we get? We get a messenger RNA, and this messenger RNA is ready for the process of translation. This messenger RNA is ready for the process of translation, and after translation, protein synthesis will take place. Now, this process of removing of the introns in eukaryotic cell is known as splicing. This complete process is known as splicing. When the introns are removed. Why the introns are removed? Introns are removed because they are of no use. They do not code for any amino acid. So these are removed. They are of no use. Only exons are of use. So they are joined and introns are removed. And what do we get? We get a messenger RNA which is ready for to undergo the process of translation. Now, one more thing I want to tell you. This happens in eukaryotic cells. But what happens in prokaryotic cells? Prokaryotic cells, no splicing takes place. No splicing. That means no removal of introns, because the RNA which is formed is already processed. Processed RNA is formed. RNA is formed. Processed RNA, that is messenger RNA, is formed as a result of splicing, as a result of transcription. What we get as a result of transcription? We get a properly formed messenger RNA which doesn't undergo splicing, as there are no introns. So this is the difference. This is the difference between the eukaryotic and the prokaryotic transcription process. Now, many more differences I'll tell you after 5 minutes. Before that, I would like to tell you the structure of messenger RNA. That means how does a messenger RNA look like? So that structure, I'll tell you. I'll make that structure for you. Structure of messenger RNA. So here, how does this messenger RNA look like? This messenger RNA looks like this, which is formed as a result of transcription. This is what it looks like. It can be a little longer also. You can make it more longer, like this. It appears to be like this. This is messenger RNA. Now it has various parts. Here this area is little different. And how it is different? Like this. Now, this from here to here, this region is coding region. That means from here to here, it is the coding region. Only coding takes place here. That means synthesis of, that means it has the basis, the complementary basis on the basis of which the basis of messenger RNA are synthesized. Then here, this is the cap which is formed. And suppose we make it 5' and this side 3'. This is methylated guanine cap, or this is also known as methylated G cap. Guanosine cap or guanine cap, methylated guanine cap, and that side it is poly-A tail or polyadenine tail. Polyadenine, poly-A tail. This is poly-A tail and this is methylated guanosine or guanine cap. Now here, this is the first segment is the leader segment, and the last one is the trailer segment. So this segment which is here, this is leader segment, LEADER, leader segment, and this region, this is trailer segment. Both are non-coding sequences. Then we have this structure, this dark one structure, and that side also dark one structure. So there is the difference between this and that dark one structure, because the first has the initiation codons, this has the initiation codon. This has the initiation codon. That means the codon which starts the process of messenger RNA synthesis. And that initiation codon, that means which particular triplet codon which starts the synthesis of messenger RNA, which starts the synthesis. So this further it will, which will start the synthesis, the translation process. Now this is messenger RNA. This messenger RNA will go for translation. Now it should have an initiation codon which will start the process of translation, and that initiation codon is here, and that initiation codon is AUG, which codes for methionine, and this is the initiation codon. Whereas the other dark side, it has a termination codon which is UAA, UGA, and UAG. This is the termination codon. That means where the process of translation will end. And what are those codons which will end up the process of translation? Those codons are UAA, 3 codons which are nonsense codons, UAA, UAG, and UGA. These are the nonsense codon which will terminate the process of polypeptide chain formation or translation. So this is the structure of messenger RNA. This is 5' to 3', and the center one, which is not colored, which is white, it is coding region. It has those templates. It is the coding region which will have the triplet codons on the basis of which the polypeptide chain will be formed. Then we have initiation codon which will start the process, and the termination codon which will end up the process. The cap, it is methylated cap, and poly-A tail, polyadenosine tail. Now this is formed. How this messenger RNA, the one which I have drawn, is formed? This is formed from the hnRNA. hnRNA had both introns and exons. The introns were removed, and what was left was only the structure which has only exons, this structure was left. Then this structure, a tail was synthesized, a head was synthesized here, a tail was synthesized here, and it got the shape like this with the initiation codon, termination codon, and this complete structure of messenger RNA was formed. This messenger RNA now is ready for the process of translation. This can undergo the process of translation, and that is the protein synthesis. So this was the process of translation. Now I would like to tell you the difference between prokaryotic transcription and eukaryotic transcription. These are some very important points which I am going to tell you just now. So you have already been told about these points. I have also sent you the notes of it were also given to you on your WhatsApp. You can check. You will have these notes. So we come to the next topic, and that topic is difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic transcription. I'll just mark here prokaryotic transcription and eukaryotic transcription. What do we mean by this, beta? See, the process of transcription, that means transcription is the process of synthesis of messenger RNA. Transcription is the process of synthesis of messenger RNA. How this process of synthesis of messenger RNA is different in prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Is this process same in both the cells, or it is different in both the cells? This is what we want to understand. So how this process is different in both the cells, let's do that. First of all, I would like to tell you one thing, that the transcription, what happens as a result of transcription? See, if it is a prokaryotic cell is like this, where the nucleus is not defined. You cannot differentiate between a nucleus, between the nucleus and the cytoplasm, because the substance which is found in nucleus, which is the nuclear material, it just lies like this in the cytoplasm. There is no defined membrane, or there is no defined structure into which this nuclear material is present. It is just dispersed on the cytoplasm in prokaryotic cell. Whereas if it is a eukaryotic cell is like this. It will have a membranous structure, a sac-like membranous structure into which the nuclear material is present. So you can well define that this is nucleus which has the nuclear material, and you can well define that this is nucleus which has the nuclear material, and this is the cytoplasm. But in prokaryotic cell, you cannot differentiate. There is no membrane around it. It just lies on the cytoplasm. So you cannot differentiate whether it is nuclear material or nucleoplasm, or this is cytoplasm. Here you can well define, you can differentiate that this is the nucleus, inside which we have nucleoplasm and the nuclear material, and outside it the cytoplasm. So this makes a lot of difference, beta, in the process of transcription. Now what happens in case of prokaryotic cell? The first difference which I told you was transcription and translation are continuous process in prokaryotic cell and occur simultaneously in the cytoplasm. Whereas in case of eukaryotic cell, both are two separate processes. Transcription occurs in nucleus, translation occurs in cytoplasm. Now here what happens? In case of prokaryotic cell, first of all, the process of transcription takes place. Why transcription? Because the central dogma is, yes, DNA, transcription, messenger RNA, translation, then protein. This is what the central dogma is. This is what the central dogma is. And the transcription takes place by DNA. DNA has to be there to undergo the process of transcription. So where is this DNA present? DNA is present in nuclear material. This is present in nuclear material. That means the material of the nucleus. the substance, the material which is present in the nucleus, in that the DNA is present. That means the process of transcription will take place in DNA. DNA is present in the nucleus. Now, in case of prokaryotic cell, there is no nucleus. The nuclear material is on the cytoplasm. So, if the process of translation starts here, if it starts here, there is no difference. No difference. It is already in cytoplasm. The nucleoplasm is already in cytoplasm. So there is no difference that fine, first the transcription will take place, then it will, the messenger RNA will transfer, get shifted, and then somewhere else the translation will take place. There is no difference. So transcription, whereas in eukaryotic cell, what happens? This I'll tell you. DNA is present in the nucleus here. Suppose the transcription takes place here in the nucleus, and as a result of transcription, this messenger RNA is formed. Now this messenger RNA has been formed as a result of transcription. I'll make this messenger RNA with red color so that you understand it better. So as a result of transcription inside the nucleus, in the DNA, because transcription takes place in DNA. DNA is in the nucleus in case of eukaryotic cell. So inside the nucleus, the messenger RNA has been formed, which I have made with red color. Now, process of transcription is over. Now this messenger RNA which is formed, it has to undergo the second process now. And what is that second process? That second process is translation. That means the messenger RNA will have to undergo the process of transcription. Translation now. Transcription already done, messenger RNA produced. This messenger RNA will not remain in the nucleus now. Why? Because the process of translation takes place in the cytoplasm. Process of translation takes place in the cytoplasm. Transcription where? Nucleoplasm, cytoplasm like material of nucleus. And translation, where does that takes place? Translation, it takes place in cytoplasm. So translation takes place in cytoplasm, and the messenger RNA is required for that. But where is messenger RNA formed as a result of transcription? Messenger RNA is formed inside the nucleus. Now, to carry out the process of translation, this messenger RNA moves outside, comes out into the cytoplasm. It comes out into the cytoplasm. So it has come out now into the cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm, then translation takes place. In the cytoplasm, then translation takes place. So this is what I want to tell you, that in case of prokaryotic cell, the transcription is a continuous process. There is no transfer of messenger RNA formed into the cytoplasm, because the nuclear material is, it is dispersed on cytoplasm itself. So process of transcription and translation occurs simultaneously, one after another, continuous process. Whereas in this case, in case of eukaryotic cell, if you see, first the transcription takes place in the nucleoplasm, then this messenger RNA formed comes out into the cytoplasm, where the process of translation takes place. So transcription inside the nucleus, whereas translation outside the nucleus in case of eukaryotic cell. So this is the first difference. We come to the second difference. Second difference is, I haven't yet told you, but last time when I taught, because this is a revision lecture, you all must be knowing that there are three types of RNA. Three types of RNA are there: messenger RNA, tRNA, and rRNA. RNAs are of three types: mRNA. Let's start with rRNA, mRNA, and tRNA. Three types of RNAs are there. And these three types of RNAs, these are formed from RNA polymerase. These are formed from RNA polymerase. In case of prokaryotic transcription, there is just one. there is just one RNA polymerase, the enzyme, which synthesizes this type also, and this type of RNA also. All three RNAs, ribosomal RNA, rRNA, mRNA, and tRNA, all three RNAs are formed from one type of RNA polymerase. This happens in case of prokaryotic cell. If we see the eukaryotic cell, there are three types of RNA polymerase to synthesize three types of RNAs. RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, and RNA polymerase 3. So RNA polymerase 1 is there, RNA polymerase 2 is there, RNA polymerase 3 is there. There are three RNA polymerase enzymes. This RNA polymerase 1 synthesizes rRNA, RNA2 synthesizes mRNA, and RNA3 synthesizes tRNA. So the three RNAs are synthesized by three different types of RNA polymerase. Now, another difference is sigma factor. I told you in case of prokaryotic cell, when transcription takes place, this is the transcription unit, promoter terminator. When transcription takes place, this is synthesized when it reaches here and the complete messenger RNA is formed in case of prokaryotic cell. What happens that a factor, see, when it starts at that time also one factor is required, which is known as sigma factor, to start the process of transcription. And when this is done, RNA polymerase makes the complete RNA strand, messenger RNA is formed. When this complete messenger RNA is formed, at that time another factor is required, which is known as Rho factor, RHO. Rho factor, this factor, Rho factor is required at that time, and this Rho factor ends the process of synthesis of messenger RNA, that is transcription. This Rho factor is required to end the process of transcription, that when the messenger RNA is synthesized, and because of this Rho factor, when it activates and it terminates the process, it stops the process, three things get separated. One is Rho factor itself, second is messenger RNA which is formed, and the third is RNA polymerase, which helps in the synthesis of this. These three things get separated. This is what is required, sigma factor and the Rho factor. Sigma factor for initiation and Rho factor for termination. This is required in prokaryotic cells. But what happens in eukaryotic cells? In eukaryotic cells, the sigma factor is not there. It is just the RNA polymerase attaches and identifies the promoter. RNA polymerase attaches and identifies the promoter. This is transcription unit. RNA polymerase attaches, identifies the promoter, and then the process of messenger RNA synthesis starts. Now, when the complete hnRNA is formed, here in this case, hnRNA is formed, unprocessed RNA that is formed. So when this hnRNA is formed, it has to be separated now. The chain separation has to be there. Now for separation, there is one termination codon. Suppose here we have a codon UAG. UAG is a termination codon. So by the end of this coding region, structural gene, not coding region, structural gene, we have this any of the terminating codon, and when this synthesis comes to end, where the termination codon is there, or where this terminating nonsense codon is there now it cannot code for any amino acid or nothing. It can, where the termination codon is there. So what happens here? This process stops. The process stops. Okay, now here that means this gets separated. There is no factors. There are no factors required. No factors are required. Just a termination sequence will be there, and that will end up the process of transcription. So this is in case of eukaryotic cell. Then we come to another difference. As I told you, in case of prokaryotic transcription, the messenger RNA which is formed is the completely processed messenger RNA. The messenger RNA which is formed is completely processed messenger RNA. That means no introns are present. No introns are present. Messenger RNA is formed at the end of transcription process. At the end of transcription process, processed messenger RNA is formed. What happens in case of eukaryotic cell? What is formed as a result of transcription is hnRNA. That means here introns are present. Introns are present, which interferes the exons. The exons are interfered by the presence of exons. The exons are interfered by the presence of introns, and such RNA which is formed as a result of transcription process, here in this case, is known as hnRNA, which is unprocessed RNA. This is formed. Now, out of the two, if you see here, a proper messenger RNA is formed, but here the proper messenger RNA is not formed. So next process which is required is, some removal of the introns, and that process of removal of introns is known as splicing. So out of the two, in which case splicing is required? Anybody who can tell? Out of the two, in prokaryotic or in eukaryotic, where the process of splicing is required? Yes, where the process of splicing is required? I'm waiting. Yes, eukaryotic. Paras Singh is answering eukaryotic. Yes. Here, no splicing. So the next point we can write down, no splicing process is observed. Why no splicing? As no introns are present. When there are no introns, that means no splicing.